Hey guys, Sarah Jane here. In this video, I'm going to talk about my Appalachian Trail gear basics. There is so much gear information out there, it's crazy and extremely beneficial. But where do you start? Well, in my research in the beginning, I learned about the big three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Wop, chop, wedge. The big three are your pack, shelter, and sleep system. Now, when you think of gear, you got to think about what it's going to weigh and how much you're going to be able to carry. There are a few different types of backpackers out there. There are, from what I'm learning, there are the ultralight backpackers with a base weight of under 10. The lightweight backpackers with a base weight of under 20. What's base weight? Well, I'm glad you asked. Base weight is pretty much all your gear excluding your consumables like food, water, and your gas cans if you choose to use a cook system with gas canisters. Good question. Okay, thanks. And then there's us average hikers. Your pack in the average rule should be about 30 pounds. I am selecting some lightweight gear, so that's good. Now, when I was first telling close family and friends about my plan to hike the Appalachian Trail, my best friend Becky plays disc golf, and she had a friend that had this backpack that they thought would work perfect for the sport. However, it didn't quite work for her needs, so basically I got a free donated pack. It is a Pacific Crest Denali 55 plus 10 liter. It fits pretty darn good, and I like it. I've been hiking with it for quite some time. So, shout out to you, Becky. Thank you. There's lots of different kinds of packs out there, so make sure you do your research. Go to REI perhaps, pick their employees' brains. They're super smart and extremely helpful. The shelter system I've decided to go with is the tent system. I do enjoy that kind of bubble that I can get into and away from everything and zip myself right in there. The tent that I'm going with is the Big Agnes Fly Creek UL2. And I've looked into all the different shelter options, and I just feel the tent option is going to be the best for me. I can't really speak about the other shelter systems, so as far as price ranging and ease and comfort, probably not a good source for that. Since I feel sleeping is a very important thing and I'm extremely good at it, I need to make sure that my nights are spent well rested. So I went with the therm-a-rest Neo X Air Light women's version. Anyway, it's basically a blow-up pad. It's the one that everybody says sounds like a potato chip bag. So I think it's super comfortable. I've slept on it multiple times already, and I'm extremely satisfied. Growing up, I've always ever used sleeping bags where you just zip yourself right into it, super comfy and everything. However, for my thru hike, I have decided to go with a quilt. Pretty exciting. I went with the Enlighten Equipment Revelation 10-degree quilt. Keep in mind the degree rating on the bag are for survival, not comfort. So if you get a 10-degree bag, doesn't mean you're going to be super cozy and warm in 10 degrees. You're just not going to die. The cool thing about Enlighten Equipment is that you can select your own features to your quilt. It did take me an entire evening playing with their color combos, so careful, you can get lost in that. I also got a sleeping bag liner, the Sea to Summit Reactor. They say it adds about 15 degrees to your bag. The reviews don't say 15 degrees, basically it's like 8. The liner is dual purpose. It'll keep you a little bit warmer in those cold winter nights, and also in the summer nights when you're hot, sticky, and pretty much gross and you're climbing into that bag over and over and over again. It's easier just to wash the liner than your sleeping bag or quilt, especially if it's down. The final piece of my sleep system, my grandmother, she's such a sweetheart. She definitely wanted to get me a piece of gear when she heard about me wanting to do the trail. So they picked a pretty special piece, I think. I already had on my list the Trekology inflatable pillow. Thanks for the pillow, Grandma and Grandpa. I will definitely be getting some good use out of it, like every night. I'm pretty confident in my big 3 picks. I highly recommend creating a gear list. So, here are a few tips on how to make a great gear list. Research and update your list regularly. Watch hiking videos, thru-hike videos, take notes, and get to know the gear that's being used out there. Basically, my philosophy is if I write an item down, I'm going to look it up and learn about it, and I'm either going to add it or delete it from my list. I found a lot of small, important items on videos like my top 5 gear picks. Gear I wish I had on my thru-hike. It's actually what made me purchase the therm-a-rest Z seat from one of those videos. Read articles and reviews on everything. It is super helpful, and there's so much of it out there. Like, just pull up Google and type, what is the best sleep system for an Appalachian Trail thru-hike? And then make sure the article you're reading is like within a couple years, because the older the video, very useful still, however the gear does change and evolve. Just make sure the articles are semi-current so you're getting the most up-to-date product information, let's say. Another tip is to keep your list fresh and finalize it as soon as you can. One of the best tips that I've given myself pretty much every time I go to REI is if it's not on my list, I'm not buying it. What I did when I got my list mostly finalized is I went through my gear list and I decided the ones I wanted to get first. Things like your hiking shoes. When I contacted AWOL to find out when I can purchase my 2019 guide, they also said to purchase the year before book so you can familiarize yourself with the book and how it's laid out. Things like your trekking poles so you can practice hiking. There's just a few things that, if you think about it, you can use and get used to way ahead of time, and whether or not it'll work for you. And last but not least, try all this stuff out. Don't just buy it and go out on trail with the tags still on them. Like Fresh Ground said.
Number one is, it's called your kit. Figure out your kit. Okay, research it. Enjoy that process. So find out what gear you want. Look at reviews. So when you go to spend that big money on your equipment, because it does get expensive, make sure that you're making a wise decision based on, the new gadgets tend to catch your eye, but I would go with the sure and tried and true things. And then get out and hike and test it. And your feet, we were talking about this earlier, your feet are the most varied thing. Make sure that you hike in your shoes, break them in if you can, if you need to. Most people use trail runners. Gore-Tex works for a few people, not most people. And so make sure whether you need liners Make sure that your feet are toughened up a little bit, so when you get blisters, most people get blisters. I even got blisters every year. Test your gear. Make sure you can pack your pack in the dark. Make sure that you're confident with your gear. Like, get out and camp out in the backyard in your cold weather. Make sure your gear works. You know, don't get out here and find out that the sleeping bag's not warm enough. Make sure that your tent is waterproof. When it's raining, go set your tent in the backyard and sleep in it. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but you don't want to find out here that you got to leave.
I can't stress this one enough. Check Goodwill. Oh my gosh. So you spend, maybe an hour in there going through all the shirts. There are so many of the synthetic breathable workout shirts that you need for the trail. Without spending top dollar on a brand new item, you can get a secondhand item that works just as fine for a fraction of the cost. So swallow the pride. Check out Goodwill. Oh my gosh. Join Facebook groups, Facebook yard sale groups. I'll basically get notifications when things are for sale. And if I like the item, I'll contact the buyer, maybe ask for more information. But if it's on my list, I'm interested in probably looking at it. Deals, deals, and steals. So this concludes my gear basic video. If you found it useful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear about maybe your big three or what you're planning to go with or what you've used in your past thru hike. High five? High five. High five. High five. High five. Thanks for watching. Live, laugh, love.